Hey everyone, and welcome to CB Weatherfront. This is Season 2, Episode 3, where we talk all about weather, from all across the Concho Valley to all around the U.S. This is our weekly web weather series. I cannot say that. Every single week I always mess those words up, where we actually go in and talk about weather. So kind of going into it, we're going to start off with our weather briefing, and we do have a science experiment at the end, which Aaron was all responsible for, so stay tuned. Stay tuned with that, because
I don't know if that was like credit or blame. I don't know, but we'll find out.
There's a good chance that it may not work. So going into our almanac today, we actually got up to about 60 degrees for us here in San Angelo. As we look at that almanac of Jordan, if you can make this full screen, there we go. High is 60 degrees. Our average temperature is around 61 degrees. So we are about average, about normal. This is what we're supposed to be feeling for us here across the Concho Valley. Our record was set in 1970 when we got up to 85 degrees. It looks to me like yesterday, or the day before yesterday, we actually got up to about 80 for us here. So we were definitely dealing with above average temperatures. We had that cold front that came in through this morning, causing us to be cooler. Today, our low was 44. Average high was, average low actually was supposed to be 34 degrees. 1948 got up to 11 degrees. So definitely
down to 11 degrees.
Down to 11 degrees. There we go. So we dealt with a lot of rain last night. So hopefully this is the current drought conditions. We were upgraded. All the rain that we received within the past 2 weeks before last Thursday took us out of that moderate drought condition. So now we're seeing those abnormally dry conditions for us here across the Concho Valley. Still dealing with a moderate drought for our eastern counties in McCullough County and Kimball County and Menard and parts of Concho County. But other than that, we were dealt with a lot more rain. We had a lot of heavy rain last night. So that was some good news. Hopefully that helped that drought situation for portions of the Concho Valley there. But looking at our current conditions across the state of Texas, we're dealing with clear skies now. We were dealing with those overcast skies. That system was a lot faster than we anticipated. It actually slowed down just a little bit, because when it came through West Texas, it was very fast. We expected that rain to come through around midnight. Of course, came 5-6 hours earlier. Still dealing with that spin right there. You're able to see that, like that subtle spin with that system, that upper level low pressure system that's currently moving across the now going in towards Arkansas and portions of Louisiana. So now they're seeing those storms and all of that widespread rain all across that area there. But looking into our extended future cast, we're going to be a little bit warm for tomorrow. Clear skies, sunny conditions, highs still rather chilly in the 60s. And as we go into Thursday, we could see some scattered showers in those afternoon hours. So there could be a possibility that we could see just some little bit of wet conditions for the first official day of rodeo season. Those rain chances definitely have diminished. We were dealing with more widespread rain, now just scattered showers. So that's some good news in terms of the rodeo season, but this is all associated with a very strong cold front that's going to be moving across Texas. So Thursday is going to be really cold, only getting up to about 46 degrees for our high on Thursday. And then as we head into Friday, those showers still lasting, skies clearing out, a little bit cloudy for Friday. And then we'll eventually warm back up into the 70s as we go into Sunday and Monday there. So this is our weather briefing. And then, of course, that's our next system that could be coming through for next Monday, which are we giving a slight chance for some showers, mainly for our southeastern counties. I know this is a little bit too far out, but other than that, still expecting some more rain potential for the next 7 days here. But looking at the latest earthquakes, it was what is it, what was the magnitude of that earthquake that hit?
7.7.
Yeah, 7.7 earthquake that hit over open water between Cuba and Jamaica. You're able to see there was like several aftershocks that actually occurred after that. I don't know, Aaron, did you have any information with this?
You know, they actually felt this in Miami. There were buildings, there were skyscrapers in Miami that were evacuated because they were swaying back and forth just with the shaking. And there's actually the little seismometers that record shaking all across the U.S., and there's one up in Abilene. And I actually went and looked at that, and you can see that it even picked up on this all the way down in the Caribbean there.
Right. So you said there was Abilene. So there was there's seismometers all across the country. So they were able to see that effects of that. I know they felt it in Miami. They felt it in Mexico, as far south of, or actually far as east as Mexico. And here's our first video of that. So as that earthquake was currently occurring, oh, this is not the right one. So yeah, keep going to the next video. That's a different story. Should be Caribbean earthquake. That's all he has? Okay. So, well, let's just go into that situation then. Okay, this
is Florida.
Florida. And mainly it got so cold in Florida that these iguanas froze and they became stunned. They're not dead, but they became stunned, and they they froze, and they kind of were falling off a tree. So that was in their forecast, falling iguanas in South Florida.
Yeah, so we're seeing a video of these iguanas. They're not dead, they're just basically stunned here. And we're basically just seeing videos of these people trying to pick these iguanas up. I even heard stories that people hunt these things in Florida, and they hunt them for the meat. I don't know how y'all feel about this, but definitely seeing the video there and looking at the iguanas there and thinking about potentially eating the meat off of these iguanas, that doesn't seem like my cup of soup.
Yeah, so I mean, of course, Florida, anything that happens in Florida is there's always some weird story coming out of Florida. But yeah, so that's definitely the case with that there. But looking at other headlines across the nation here, we were dealing with those earthquakes all across the nation. And so, of course, this is that volcano. Here we go. Look, this is the volcano that happened
in Mexico.
In Mexico. We were dealing with that in Mexico. This was this was a long name. I couldn't pronounce it. Do you know how to pronounce that name? I should know how to pronounce this name.
If it's Spanish, I'm not.
Popocatépetl. That's what it's called. But no, this was at night, and this was a very explosive type volcano that occurred in the overnight hours there. And this caused, you're able to look at this, you're able to see that just erupt explosion with that as that currently moved through the area there. But looking at this volcano, we were definitely dealing with that cloud formation and all those, look at those stars in the background, but you were able to see those stars in this volcano as that footage continues to play there.
Yeah, so definitely seeing a lot of smoke coming out of that, and definitely.
This is night vision, so there he goes. Let's look at this right here. It was just like a
really big eruption,
crazy eruption there. And so can we go on to our next video if there is one?
There we go.
And now we're going from volcanoes to the winter. You know, this was an ice ring, and this has to deal with rivers, correct, Aaron?
Yes, it is, and it usually has to do with slow flowing rivers. And so you get these little you get this ice forming on top of this river that's not completely frozen there, but you're getting a little bit of ice on top of the river there, and then you get the flowing river, and that's when you start to see a little bit of rotation with that ice, and so you start to see formation of that ice, and you can barely see this one just rotating just a little bit there on that zoom in shot. So definitely.
You're going from volcanoes to like winter weather. We're not seeing any of that here, but as you get these, like, it's like a perfect circle. You know, where was this at? Did you know where this was at?
This was in a place called Saco, in the Kennebec River. River. I hope I pronounced that right.
Who knows? But anyways, yeah, that happened. That's a good phenomenon that you can see during winter weather that currently occurs. So, do we have any views or any comments about that? What's going on right now?
I've got a comment that says that iguanas taste like chicken.
Really? Yeah. From who?
This was from Julio I'm going to totally butcher this name.
We have where was that? Oh yeah, Saldana. So they taste like chicken. I've never had a iguana. I've tasted alligator, which is really good to me. You know, I'm kind of worried about like eating reptiles, but alligator is really good. I like Cajun food and all of that. Anybody else?
King P. Walker Jr. says magnitude 4.4 region that came in on is they're having aftershocks.
So there's aftershocks.
Aftershocks with this main earthquake.
There's also a tsunami threat for portions of those islands too.
They thought there was,
but there wasn't.
There's no tsunami threat at this time.
That's good news, because a lot of times, you know, they were having all of those shocks, those earthquakes in Puerto Rico, and so a lot of those things that people were saying that those earthquakes in Puerto Rico were probably some kind of foreshock. So there's aftershocks that happened after an earthquake, and then there's foreshocks that happened before an earthquake. So who knows? Maybe there's like a bigger one that's going to occur. It's one of those things that's pretty scary for portions of the Caribbean. Do you have any other comments there?
No, I think that's it.
That's all the comments for right now. So we saw some interesting things yesterday for us here across the Concho Valley. We saw interesting clouds yesterday.
I hadn't seen before.
I've never seen them before.
In person, you know.
Yeah, I haven't seen them in person, but these are called lenticular clouds, and this was actually over San Angelo. And the thing here is that these clouds are only supposed to be over mountainous terrain. And of course, Aaron, I know we saw these clouds, we both kind of like texted each other, and then we looked at the satellite imagery, and they were coming from the Big Bend area.
Right.
Big Bend is still far away, but the fact that these were able to still maintain their formation as they came over the Concho Valley, that's kind of crazy. So this is what it looked like here over the Concho Valley. This is in San Angelo, but of course, these are what they look like over mountainous areas. This was taken in California. That's how they're supposed to look like. Very beautiful flying saucer type clouds. Back in the day before they knew what these were, people thought they were UFOs because they are shaped like flying saucers there. So these are lenticular clouds, and some cool facts about these is that they form only in the troposphere, and they're in perpendicular in the direction of where the wind is going, and there's often a sign of unstable air. And so with that being said, we actually had unstable air yesterday because we got up to 80 degrees, and not only that, we had all those heavy rain because our air was definitely unstable.
I mean, when you get up to 80 degrees here in January, that's impressive, and that's a lot of unstable air to work with, and a lot of heat and a lot of rising air.
Yeah, it's almost like it's spring. Hey, I mean, we're supposed to be in winter, but we got up to 80. We had these storms. I'm like, what is it? Spring? No, it's not spring. But going into and what we're doing here is that we're not going to talking about every type of cloud. We're talking about these cool looking clouds that you're like, what the heck is that in the sky? Because we have that all the time here in San Angelo. And this next one, which was actually taken by Jeremy Maher back last spring, this is a roll cloud, and we often see those here actually quite often. They come during the spring, and they are actually disconnected ahead of either a cold front or some type of storm system. And usually they're like a long tube-like structure that usually just moves in a very horizontal type way there. And I don't know, do you want to talk about this, Aaron?
I really wish this was a video, you know, because then you could see the effect of the actual rolling of the cloud there. But unfortunately, all we have is a picture to look at. But
That's true.
It's still an impressive capture, an impressive picture there. And this was from here, correct? This was before I was here.
Yeah, this was taken in San Angelo, this roll cloud. We actually were able to see this. I wish I was able to go back into our cactus cam because this actually came over downtown San Angelo, and we were able to see this moving across the area. I should have gotten that. I mean, of course, I don't know if that video is still in our computers, but yeah, that's a roll cloud. And so these are often associated with shelf clouds. And this was taken in and around the Coleman area, and usually it has to deal with that. It's a wedge-shaped cirrus cloud that usually it's ahead of a thunderstorm. Yeah. Okay. So people see shelf clouds, and they think they've seen a wall cloud, but usually it appears to form of a wall made of a wall cloud, shelf cloud. Spring, thunderstorms, that's what they're associated with. And our last type of cloud, and we're, like I said, we're talking about these unique, crazy, and actually we have two more clouds, these unique clouds that usually are seen.
Have you ever taken a selfie?
A shelfie?
A selfie, yeah.
No.
Where you take a selfie in front of a shelf cloud.
I've never taken that, no.
Try it sometime.
Okay, I will. I never knew it was called that. But yeah.
Sorry.
Our next type of, I thought you were saying selfie wrong. I'm like, you don't, yeah, okay. No, I've never heard of that, but that's interesting. So
search that on Twitter, you'll find out. #shelfie.
Shelfie, okay. It must be a weather thing.
It is.
Speaking of weather things, there is a
Cloud Appreciation Society.
There is a Cloud Appreciation Society that we looked into. Aaron wants to join. Do you want to join or no?
I would love to join. I mean, what's wrong with looking at clouds? I mean, we're looking at clouds now, right?
Yeah, there's a Cloud Appreciation Society, and it's actually really interesting. But there is a lot of cool pictures that are in there. But looking at this cloud, hey, this is a pyrocumulus cloud, and this is very interesting because these clouds actually form from wildfires or volcanoes, and this was actually taken near. This was I think it was like Wildcat Fire. That happened in and around near Cristobal. So you have these wildfires, and when you have that unstable air, they can actually form a thunderstorm. You see these in wildfires, and you also see these in volcanoes. Like if a volcano erupts, we usually ends up forming.
You typically get a lot of lightning with those in the volcanoes just because of the volcanic ash that's in the cloud bouncing around up there.
That makes a lot of sense there. So we're talking about a lot of different clouds. Do we have any more comments or?
just someone saying, haha, Florida man. That would, yeah, definitely eating iguana meat would be a Florida man headline.
True, yeah. So going to our last topic, cloud, and we're talking about clouds for a very specific reason about our activity that is coming up right after this, but this is a mammatus cloud. This was taken over the KSAN news station, and these are usually, people know these as hail clouds. This doesn't necessarily mean, people think they see these clouds and they're like, oh, bad weather is coming. It usually doesn't necessarily mean that. It means that there is bad weather occurring nearby. And so going on with that is that these are kind of, you know, very mushroom billowing type clouds that are usually form when there's a severe weather. So of course you have that green color and those green type colors, and they're very interesting formations when it comes with these type of clouds. And the reason why is because with that severe weather that usually occurs, you see these clouds, you see hail with these storms, usually a very strong storm. When we took this picture of this cloud over the studio, there was very severe a lot of severe thunderstorms going on in Crockett County. So that it was not that far, but it was somewhere near. And like I said, the reason why that we're talking about this is because here's what we're going to do. We are going to make a cloud in the disc. I was waiting for them to take the camera so we can actually.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
I was waiting for them to take the camera, but they didn't do it in time.
That's okay.
We're going to make a cloud today.
We're going to attempt to make a cloud.
Okay, so we're going to.
So this is a science experiment. Science experiments don't always work out. That's why they're called experiments.
Yes.
Sometimes they fail.
Right.
But
sometimes they explode. But this is not going to happen.
And what we're trying to do is promote, you know, science in the classroom and give. Maybe homeschool or something to do, maybe homeschool teachers, or maybe something that you could do with your middle school or high school teachers.
If this is successful. So hopefully we're using clay, so of course.
Yeah, so
Davis, you're going to have to zoom out here on one of the cameras, or this camera, actually this one probably, so we could get like kind of a good explanation. So we got to stand up, we need lab coats, but of course our situation isn't that bad. So we're going to have to look at this camera right here. So Aaron, you're going to have to be on this side right here.
Yes. So I
stand
will bring
right
this
here
with me.
Yes.
And so we can see all of this.
Okay, so like I said, this is you can't block the. There we go.
Right.
Okay. There we go.
Okay, I've got to set this up and explain it so people know how to do this, right? We want people to know how to do this. Okay, so here we go. We're not just going to do it.
That's true. Yeah, you're right. Go ahead.
It's magic.
Ingredients.
It's magic. Okay.
Yes.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to attempt to make a cloud in a bottle, and so to do that, you need a couple of things to do so. First of all, the main ingredient here is isopropyl alcohol. So definitely pick this up at your local store. And you're not going to need a whole bunch of this to put in the bottle, but just a little bit. And again, a 2-liter bottle works perfectly fine. This is a 1-gallon jug, and so this works too. And we'll try this and make sure that it works. And then you need a bicycle pump. So just a simple bicycle pump here to get the air pressure, to raise the air pressure inside of the bottle, and then you want to release that there. And so what we're doing,
so we need a tight seal too, right? So did you talk about the clay?
Yes. So the modeling clay is what I found at the store, because you can't really find corks much anymore. You know, I wanted like a cork that would fit that, and it's kind of difficult to find that, but if you can find a cork that will fit your bottle, that would probably work best. That way you can stick the little bicycle pump needle down through it, and then you can have a complete seal. So the main point is to put a little bit of rubbing alcohol inside the bottle, and then get a tight seal on it, as tight as you can. So Chris, if you'll help me out.
So we have this, so I don't know, Davis, if you want to zoom in to what so we can get like a better shot of this. So we're trying to, our success was going directly in the top there. Yeah. So I'm going to have to do my best to hold it as tight as I can, and because we have to create that seal. And I'm going to move it this way, and what I'm going to do is that I'm squeezing as tight as I possibly can here, and we're going to go ahead and try to do this. All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
So are we good? So hopefully this works. This may fail, but let's go. Let's go ahead. You're pumping. I think there's a situation here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got to make sure that the air gets into the bottle first.
So we're going to have to redo this because
has it sealed itself up?
It sealed itself up from the bottom here.
Oh, okay. So
we have to
bear with us. We're having technical difficulties.
Like I said, it is a science experiment, and so a lot of times is that we have to go ahead and pump it some because there we go. Okay.
Did I just spray you with clay?
No, you're good. You're good. So we're going to have to flatten this out. Make sure this is flattened for a good second here.
So we're just making sure that the main thing you want to do is make sure that in the bottle that you can seal this hole and make sure that the air doesn't escape from the top of the container here. So
right. So remember, we had to do it at the side, and then
you don't want to clog your pump either. That's not something you want to do.
You do not want to clog. If you can hold that up right there.
Okay.
And so what we're going to do is that we're going to seal this from behind and do it as tight as we can. And what we're doing, if you're just now joining us, we are trying to make a cloud inside the KSAN studio.
Well, so inside this bottle.
Inside this bottle.
The KSAN studio.
Yes, inside the bottle. So we have the seal, we have the pump. This should be good. Of course, there may be some leakage going on here with the air.
And we're just going to try it and see how it goes.
All right, so
go
ahead.
I think we're leaking.
Yeah, go ahead. Keep going. Okay. All right, keep going. All right, ready? There it goes. Okay, so there's a cloud in there. So one interesting thing to note here is that that's cloud. So the combination of pressure and the alcohol is now vapor as it moves. So as we return that pressure, look what happens.
Watch this.
Watch this. It will definitely start disappearing when that pressure returns. And I am trying to keep going. Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, that's a little bit there.
Yeah.
But, that's the way it goes. What? Sure, if you want to.
Come on.
Come on. Davis is going to try this.
Yeah.
You're going to try to hold it tight?
Yeah, I'm just going to try to hold it.
Okay. So he's going to try to hold it tight. Are you going to pump?
I mean,
I will.
I can't.
I will.
Okay, so go ahead and try to. So we have Davis. So what we're doing, we're adding pressure. This is a good experiment to do at home with the kids. A lot of things going on here.
It's a workout.
It is a workout. I think you're good. All right.
Okay.
Wow, okay. So like I said, that is a makeshift cloud. In a bottle there.
Yeah.
And so that's the interactive experiment that, of course, that we have here. And, kind of going into that is one thing that we usually end up doing. So I'm looking at our comments here. They're talking about Florida, talking about iguanas tasting like chicken, because we were talking about iguanas. We had earthquakes. We went from earthquakes to iguanas, and
to ice,
to
clouds,
and all of that situation there. So, of course, this is our interactive experiment. This was something that we are in the process of attempting to sort of do all the time, because we always did games. We've always did, with the high-low games. We did what was the other game that we did last? Picture the Weather.
Picture the Weather.
So now we're trying our best to kind of branch out and do science experiments because, of course, hey, what's more funner than weather in the classroom? To appeal to the children, to the students, and make weather and science somewhat fun. So as we go into the next several hours there. So, Gladys is high. Fun experiment to do with the kids. Yes.
Yes.
So we made a cloud. Cloud is no longer there anymore. Yep. And of course there was pressure. Did you want to explain that? Do you know how the explanation of that experiment?
So basically it's all to do with pressure. You want to build the pressure up inside the bottle, and that's when you release the pressure from it, you have all that air pressure exiting, and that causes vaporization of that rubbing alcohol. And so that's how the cloud forms when you get that lower pressure there. And then when you put the air back in, when you start pumping the air back in, that starts adding higher pressure back into the container, and that's like high pressure like we see in the atmosphere.
Yes.
And so you start to see clouds go away when you see higher pressure coming in. So
that makes sense because, when it comes to those high pressure systems, you have clear skies, right? High pressure, clear skies, warmer temperatures. When you have that low pressure, that's when you get cloud formation. It makes a lot of sense. Weather in a bottle there. So we have about I guess a minute or two left of our live stream here. So do you have anything else to add in terms of that?
No, I think that pretty much wraps
it.
that
Yeah, so that was our
up,
experiment. That's one thing that we are trying to do, is to go into that for the live stream. So of course, rodeo's in 2 days. Good chance that we could see some scattered showers for rodeo season and or the first day of rodeo. But the rodeo parade looks actually fairly good there. But of course, you can always follow me on Chris Ramirez KSAN on Facebook and Chris Ramirez WX on Twitter.
And I'm meteorologist Aaron Ayers on Facebook and Aaron A_WX on Twitter. So.
And don't forget, you can always check your latest weather forecasts on the ConchoValleyHomepage.com, along with other news, weather, and sports. And you can also download the Concho Valley Homepage app on the Apple Store and the Google Play Store. So you can always get those notifications of breaking news events that happen around here in the Concho Valley, around the nation, because we have a lot of breaking news that happened elsewhere.
Nation,
yeah, it's this past weekend. My phone was going off so crazy, but a lot of important things happening. Well, that's all we have for you today. We will join us next week for your 4th episode of Seaview Weatherfront. Have a good night.